heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, 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 Rachel, go! Look out, you're wide open, and an easy score.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in. And as always, Liuna, Labor's Local 663, hey, remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also presented by the Bank of Billings, established in 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. And we go north to Penny High School. We welcome in Penny Hornets head football coach Alexander Lloyd. Coach Lloyd, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Coach, we do have a rule here on the Missouri Sports Network. To become a friend of the show, you have to make 3 appearances. So we've got several in that book right now. But hey, go out and get a win on Saturday, and you'll get appearance number 2. But we're looking forward to it. But Coach, 9-4 on the season. You've had a tremendous run. Lots of history there at Penny High School with Hornet football program. But talk about this season just in general as a whole.
Yeah, so if you look early in the season, we started off kind of getting our tails kicked by a really good Higginsville team. I've said in other interviews, there's a little bit of a, you start figuring out who your team is in the summer, but you really start to figure out who that year's team is on the first Friday night live action. So we have had to figure out a lot of things as the season has gone on. We only graduated 4 seniors last year, but 3 of them were on the line. So, filling those holes has been big. So we kind of had to figure out what worked for us. And, I've said it on other shows that I believe we're battle tested. We're a 4-loss team in the state championship, and you don't see that a lot. But I also don't think you see a lot of teams that play up 6 of their regular season games. We don't play a lot of schools the same size as us. And I think, the term battle tested, what does that mean? It means we've faced adversity. We've had to, lose some close games, some, battle with some really good schools, and then, adjust and find ways to get better. So I think a lot of teams, they kind of get their reality check in the postseason, and due to the strength of our schedule, we got those reality checks throughout the year and, chose to grow from them and find ways to get better.
You mentioned that 4-loss team, the Lamar Tigers, kind of in a very similar boat. Visited with Coach Jared Beshore earlier, and talked about, hey, the reports of the demise of Lamar were greatly exaggerated. Yeah. And it seems the same way there for Penny. As you go back to maybe that jamboree at the beginning of the season to right now, who are some players maybe in the beginning you maybe weren't counting on, and they've kind of surprised you with their roles and are really playing well and kind of helped propel you into this state championship game?
I don't know that I would go as far as not relying on, but I would say a kid like Jack Cooley pops. I think he's at about 600-ish yards rushing this year. Starts on the defensive side of the ball as well, and had a pick 6 that really helped put the icing on the cake versus Tipton. We knew Jack was going to play for us. But we didn't know he was going to go off like he did, especially late in the season. Through the first 5 games, he really didn't have that many carries. And then late in the season, we realized, wow, he can kind of be that guy. And if you want to talk about other kids that, have grown nicely, we got a freshman, Owen McTheney is our starting center. He's a big old freshman, don't get me wrong, but there's always a question mark about a freshman playing on Friday nights. So, him being able to step up and handle that role, that replacing one of those 3 seniors from last year has been really big. And I don't want to say a surprise because we knew he was talented. We knew he's a big kid. But it's nice to see those kids who, I guess weren't proven in previous seasons in the same way some of our other kids were. I would also mention another freshman that's been playing for us, Jared Cooley. He was playing a little bit of defensive back for us at the beginning of the year. Very tough, athletic freshman, 40-foot triple jumper in middle school. Obviously, we would like to not play freshmen on Friday nights when possible. And then partway through the season, our really good Mike linebacker, Tate Yahtzee, went down, had to have knee surgery. And we wound up with freshman Jared Cooley, weighing $150 or whatever he weighs in there at our Mike linebacker. And he's developed really, really nicely in that position. So I'm sure there's some other kids I'm missing. There's more I could talk about. But those are three that, I think if you look at the beginning to the season to the end, they're a lot better than where they started, and we're really proud of their improvement.
Coach, take us back to that Tipton game a week ago. Tipton comes in with just the one loss, and Coach Duke had been on several times throughout the year with us. Tell us a little bit about where you had some success. You talked about the pick six, but defensively you played well also.
Yeah, so across the board, we played well defensively. They made some big plays, but our defense, had a lot of drives where they bent and didn't break. Where I don't know how many turnover on downs we got, but it was a lot. Where they would start to drive, but our defense wouldn't break. They'd find a way to get the job done, and that all starts up front. So certainly found success with the defense. They only scored once at the very end of the first half. Offensively, we ran the ball really well. That's kind of our nature, our DNA. That's what we do here. That's what they've done here for a long time. We had one big play that was the first score. Second score was a little bit longer of a drive. We had a touchdown pulled off the board. There was another big play that, due to a holding penalty, that really didn't have much of an effect on the play. But what I would add on that offensively, where there were some drives that didn't finish in points that we would like to have. But those drives were long, sustained, 5-6 minute drives in the trenches. I mean, knocking them downfield, yard after yard after yard. And that wears on a team. And I think especially at the Class 1 level, where most of those guys play both ways, now they got to come out and play offense. And those same players have been kind of punched in the face all the way down the field. They're a little demoralized, beat down whenever our defense goes back on the field.
Coach, coming out of that Tipton game, going into the state championship, are you relatively healthy outside of this is the 15th week for high school kids to play football? Obviously, you've got some bumps and bruises, but outside of just normal football type things, are you relatively healthy?
Yeah, I mentioned, losing our really good Mike linebacker, Tate Yahtzee, relatively early in the season. But knock on wood, other than that, we're relatively healthy. Sure, a guy, twists an ankle or has a good bruise, everyone's dinged up, like you said, week 15. But I mean, the same 11 guys that started the first round of districts are the same 11 guys that are going to start this Saturday in the state championship game. So yeah, pretty darn healthy for this time of year, I'd say.
And again, we're visiting with Penny Hornets head football coach Alexander Lloyd. Coach, tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been there at Penny? Where did you go to high school, college, and how'd you end up there at Penny?
Yeah, so I went to high school at Goreville High School in Goreville, Illinois. I played football as Vienna Goreville co-op. So my high school I actually attended wasn't much larger than Penny High School here. But with the co-op, we were a 3A school in the state of Illinois. The football program there, actually the varsity program, started my freshman year. They did not have a varsity program before that year. In my senior year in Illinois, I don't know how familiar you are with the playoff system over there. You've got to qualify for the state playoffs with your regular season. In my senior year, we made the playoffs, won a playoff game. And at that time, I don't know if it still holds, we held the record for the fastest team to start a varsity program and then qualify for the IHSA playoffs. We're really proud of that. I've still got that T-shirt in my house. I was able to play for 2 Hall of Fame coaches at that level. Mike Rood is an Illinois High School Hall of Fame football coach. Really inspired me to get into coaching. Al Way was our offensive coordinator, straight T offense, the exact same thing Dave Fairchild used to run here at Penny. So I don't know if that's fate or what, but man, I got to play for 2 great old school Hall of Fame coaches. They were both retired from teaching at that time. And the school I was playing at was kind of like their retirement project. Can we go to this little basketball school in the middle of nowhere and turn it into a football program? And it was an awesome thing to be a part of. I was lucky enough to go from there. I played D3 football at Millikan University. I was a great practice player and a great role player, especially when we were playing not very good teams. I could get some reps here and there. But I got to play 4 more years of football. I got to play football until I was 22 years old, which is awesome. out of college, man, I got a teaching degree, had no idea where I wanted to go, knew I wanted to stay around the game of football. I thought maybe high school level, I wanted to teach. So I just started putting out job applications. I mean, I would have gone anywhere. And the first job I got offered was at a little town I'd never heard of called Princeton, Missouri. And I got offered the teaching job there. They said, hey, we need you to coach girls basketball, be an assistant girls basketball coach. We don't have a football position right now. So I called the head football coach there at the time, Tom Hopmer, who's still a good friend of mine. He's middle school principal over at Odessa right now. And I was like, hey, man, I see you're the head football coach. I'd like to get into coaching. And he moved some things around to where he made me the head middle school football coach and then one of his assistant varsity coaches. So I owe him a lot for getting me into coaching. After that, I was there 1 year, went down to Farmington, Missouri, which is just south of St. Louis. Be a little closer to family, larger school, things of that nature. Got hired on there as a history teacher and the D-line coach for Coach Eric Krupe, who will be at our game Saturday, a great mentor of mine, great friend of mine. Guy means the world to me. Worked for him for 3 years, and then my wife got her teaching degree. She got offered a job up in this area, and she's like, hey, will you at least look at moving back to Northwest Missouri? And I wasn't sure I wanted to be honest with you. I wanted to make sure it was for the right job because I was a position coach at the class 4 or 5 level. I loved where I was working. And at first I wasn't sure I wanted to move back up here, but when that penny job came open, I had 4 or 5 people call me the day it came open. They're like, hey, this job's open. And I knew darn well it was a good football job. And I was lucky to come here and apply and interview and get this job. And, the last 4 years is what it's been. It's been awesome.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, you kick off at 3:00 on Saturday. What's the travel plans? You going up the night before? You going up that morning? What's it like between now and kickoff?
Yeah, we're really blessed here in Hamilton. I'd say people love football and people love FFA here. We love a lot of other things, but man, those two things we're taking darn serious here. So when we qualified for state, there was no doubt the community was going to make it happen. The boys are getting a hotel. The boys are getting their meals paid for. Got a charter bus to go down there. So we'll leave the school tomorrow after lunch at the school just for a timing perspective. So we'll leave tomorrow. There'll be a send-off, with the band, all that good stuff. About halfway down, we'll stop at Higginsville. Coach Cook has been kind enough to let us get out there, check out the new field, stretch our legs, Then we'll go to Columbia, feed the boys some Golden Corral, I believe is where we're eating. They're going to have a little Madden tournament or whatever they want to play tomorrow night in the hotel. We got a conference room for them. And then, Saturday is all business. Breakfast, we'll watch a little film. We'll, we're going to stream part of the Class 3 game while we eat lunch, and then we're going to head on over to Mizzou.
Well, outstanding. Well, Coach, again, congratulations on the semifinal win over Tipton. Good luck against Adrian. Go out and get that biggest trophy, and we'll get you and some of the players on next week as part of our Team of the Week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Hey, you bet. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Again, you're watching High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, hey, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. And we'll be right back after these messages.
I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Everything. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. on the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Patrick, Jake from State Farm, explain this bundling thing again.
All right, Coach Reed. Let's say these fries are your car, right? And
And this burger is your home.
Okay.
it can be more affordable if you bundle them together.
Kind of like a combo meal.
Kind of like a combo meal.
Explain it again with those nuggies.
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cameron Irway is your local State Farm provider for the Salem-Licking area. He's also a supporter of the Licking Lady Wildcats and Wildcats basketball programs. Give him a call for all your insurance needs. Shelton Welding and Custom Fab and Repair is your local welding and fab repair place. Whether you need a repair done at his shop or you're at your own house, give him a call. He can work on stainless, cast, aluminum, whatever you need, give Shelton a call.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, presented by Liuna Labor's Local 663, who remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. We take another trip down to Seneca, Missouri. Welcome the Seneca Indians head football coach, Cody Hilburn. And, Coach, it's just kind of rinse and repeat right now. But congratulations on the big semifinal win.
Yeah, thanks. It was a huge win. Special day for our community getting to host a semifinal game.
31-0, a big shutout. Talk about the defensive effort. When we talked last week, you talked about the athletes that they had across the field. Talk about that defensive effort to get that shutout.
Yeah, I'm so proud of our defense and our coaching staff on that side of the ball. That was probably the most athletic football team I've seen since I've been at Seneca. They just had kids that could create explosive plays anytime they touched it, and we knew it was going to be a tough matchup for us. So we had to do some things differently in our secondary, some different coverages to keep those guys in front of us. And to do that, we had to play a really light box, and that made you nervous because they could run the ball as well. But we played a three-man front, our three guys up front, won the line of scrimmage, and our Mike linebacker did a tremendous job keeping the quarterback in check.
Outstanding. You guys come out of that contest relatively healthy outside of being 14 weeks into a season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, typical bumps and bruises that we have to deal with, every week, but I think we're doing okay.
And Coach, and we talked a little bit off the air just about the historic performance that your offensive line has had this year with regards to yards per game rushing. What was that like coming into the season? And it was, I think, somewhat maybe until maybe a week ago, a surprise to you that you guys were approaching historical type numbers.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue. I knew we were rushing for a lot of yards, but I didn't know the significance of it. But talking about our offensive line, going into the season, we knew that's who we had to hang our hat on. We returned 4 of our 5 up front and lost almost every skill guy that we had. So, but we had 4 of our 5 up front and our tight end coming back. And so our kids that entire offseason, we told them, this was your football team. And if we can run the football, we're going to have a chance, especially come playoff time. And that's who I want our identity to be, and that's who they want our identity to be.
Coach, as you go back to August 23rd, the Jamboree dates when the districts came out that day, to this point right now, who on your team has maybe surprised you that maybe you thought would help you, but they've really kind of come into their own as the seasons went on and maybe stepped up, maybe someone who did not get a lot of varsity time a year ago? Who are some of those, and there may be more than one, that have really outperformed what your thoughts were going into the season?
Well, I don't know if it was a surprise to me, but there was a lot of unknown just at multiple skill position spots, and especially starting with our quarterback spot. We had graduated a 2-year all-state kid at quarterback, and we were going to have to replace that spot, and we didn't know who it was going to be. I thought we had 2 really good kids in Caden Klaus and Brody Probert, and I thought it may work itself out in the offseason, and it just never did. Credit to them, because they both just kept getting better every week, and nobody could pull away. And so I didn't want to play two quarterbacks, but they had both had done such a good job. They deserve to be out there and they could do some different things for us. So both of those kids go into week one kind of splitting reps, and they kind of had their own packages. Is how we did that weeks 1, 2, and probably 3 as well. And Brody was a kid that we could use in a couple different ways. So as the season went on, it just kind of worked itself out where Brody could move to some running back at times. We've even used him at receiver at times. And then Caden Klaus has made that quarterback spot his. He was a senior on our football team, a tremendous leader for us. The kids really respect him. He does everything the right way. So just those two kids and how they handled that situation. I think two kids could have handled it totally opposite and pouted and questioned how I was going to handle that. They didn't do that. They showed up every day and, Coach, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to slide out here? Do you want me to do this? I just want to win. And I think that kind of describes our football team.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, as you prepare here for that 11 a.m. game on Saturday, it's a Blair Oaks team that basically all season, the two of you have been ranked number 1, number 2 all year in the state. That's kind of been, and we visited with head coach Ted LePage earlier in the show, and he talked about the fact that this has been something that everybody in the state's been kind of looking at all year because you're on different sides of the bracket. You've been number 1, number 2. There's a lot of respect for you and your program from Coach LePage. What do you know about Blair Oaks, and what are some of the challenges that they present?
Well, there's a ton of challenges they present, but it starts with Coach LePage. He's a Hall of Fame football coach, and that shows up on film. That they don't ever beat themselves. They in every aspect of the game. Normally we can turn on the film and find some holes maybe or something that they're not sound in that we can exploit, and you can't do that with Blair Oaks. And even though we don't do the same thing offensively and defensively, in a way, it's like looking at each other in the mirror. With they're very, very good up front on both sides of the ball. And that's, even though you got the quarterback doing all kinds of stuff, he's a tremendous player, and then they can throw the ball, they can run the ball, they spread you out. It starts with their offensive and defensive line, and that's who we want to be as well. And I think I was looking at some numbers this morning. I think we're averaging like 9.5 yards per carry, and they're giving up like 2 yards per carry on their defensive line. So I think that's like what you look at every week, but especially in the state championship game, is who can establish the line of scrimmage.
As you look at them, is there anyone on your schedule? And you made the reference to them being very similar to you. Is there any team that you've played on your schedule that maybe reminds you of Blair Oaks a little bit?
I don't know about this year. Lamar got into some similar offensive formations in the past. This year they kind of gotten more too tight, but in the past, Lamar was able to spread you out and present 5 wide and rely on their quarterback run game a lot. And that's exactly what they do, is they spread you out. And if the numbers are right in the box, they're going to let their quarterback run. And he's a big kid that's physical, that finishes runs. And then if you try to load the box up to stop that, they're gonna pick you apart throwing the ball. And when you play them, you always seem to be -1. Like if you just defend the pass, you're -1 in the box. If you load the box, you're -1 in the passing game. And they have an identity. You can tell they've been running that offense for a while, and they just do a really good job.
Now, it's a kickoff is 11 a.m. on Saturday. What are your travel plans? Are you going up the night before? What do the travel plans look like for the Indians?
Yeah, so we're gonna have our kids get out of school a little bit early, and we're gonna practice at our place before we leave on Friday. And we're going to try to get out of here about 2:45 and drive halfway to Lebanon and have our team meal in Lebanon, and then arrive to our hotel around 8 or 8:15. We'll have a team meeting when we get there. And you never want high schoolers in a hotel for very long. So I'll give them about 1 hour to wind down, and then we'll bed check them, and that'll be it.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, at 2 o'clock when the score hits, or probably will hit a little bit earlier than that, if it comes out that Seneca comes out on top, what are 1 or 2 stats that you're going to point at and say, hey, this is why we won this game, whether it be penalties, time possessions, turnover, and maybe all of them, but what's one stat that you're going to have to control to come out on top?
Yeah, I think turnovers are going to be huge. I think you cannot waste a possession. You can't give Blair Oaks extra possessions. Likewise, if we can steal a possession, I think it'll be huge. I think all the other things are true in every game. You know, we at this point in the year, we are who we are. They are who they are. And you got to go make plays. And in these kind of situations or these kind of games, you got to have players step up and make plays.
Outstanding, Coach. And we've been visiting with Seneca Indians head football coach Cody Hilburn. Coach, good luck this weekend. Go get the biggest trophy. Come back and we'll do it again next week.
All right, thanks, Guy. I appreciate you.
You bet. Hey, you're watching the Missouri Sports Network on MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. And we'll be right back.
I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really...
Post Pawn Shop is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and area teams in this area. Check them out just outside the main gate of Fort Leonard Wood. Talk to Dan for all of your hunting needs, electronic needs, whatever it may be. Dan would probably have it. Post Pawn Shop is a proud supporter. Security Bank of Pulaski County is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and a main supporter of all of our sports that we produce this year, including the Waynesville Tigers and all the Frisco League teams. Be sure to support the teams by supporting Security Bank. Security Bank's member FDIC, 2 convenient locations in Waynesville and St. Robert. Show Me Candies and More is a proud supporter of the area teams and Allen Hilliard Sports. We want to thank them for everything, and again, thank you, Show Me Candies and More, all your freeze-dried candies. Check them out on Facebook.
When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And presented by RBW Agricultural Farm Equipment and Sales, our newest sponsor, and they're the home of the Rancher Hydraulic Cattle Baron, Heritage, and Legacy cattle chutes. RB Agricultural carries curated lines of new livestock handling equipment, front-end loader attachments, and is the #1 dealer for Ironcraft Flex Wing rotary cutters in the USA. We care about the safety of our customers and their livestock, bringing efficient equipment to the market, making high-quality equipment affordable for more farmers and ranchers, and the integrity of our words and conduct. And you can find them in Bolivar and Moberly, Missouri. This is Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week segment presented by the Missouri State Highway Patrol. We go to Polo High School, home of the Panthers, and head basketball coach Josh Hunko. And Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Coach, before we get to our Athlete of the Week, just a couple games into the season, tell us about the Panthers and what it looks like.
Yeah, we brought back our 2 main pieces from last year, then a bunch of role players that, got spotty minutes last year, kind of contributing more. We also have a couple freshmen right now starting for us, but we're led by our seniors in Maverick, Gage, and Brandon, and they do a good job of leading, vocally and demonstrating what needs to be done on the court. So we brought back about 75% of our scoring from last season, and then everybody else has just kind of picked it up since we've gotten back, but so far, they look pretty good.
For those that just tuning in and wondering, number one, geographically, where Polo is, and then maybe the conference and some of your opponents, kind of fill us in on where you are geographically. I know you're Class 2, I believe, District 15, but give more specifics about where you're located and some of your conference members.
Yeah, we're in Northwest Missouri. We're probably one of the smallest Class 2 basketball programs in Missouri, but we are over, we're just kind of north of Richmond and south of Cameron on the outskirts. And, our conference is the GRC. We think it's a very heavy conference. We think we have some good teams in it, football and basketball wise, and baseball for that matter. So, I think overall the conference helps prepare our athletes for, the competition that we see later on in the season that's out of conference. But, I think the GRC is one of the most powerful, conferences in the state.
You made reference to football. I believe Penny is still alive in football. They're going to play for the state championship this weekend. They're also a district member, and districts, just coming out here a few days ago. What do you know about your district, and have you decided on a host yet?
I have not heard about a host. I know we put in for it. But our district, it's winnable, but there are some good teams in it. Like you said, Penny's going to, be pretty good. They should be pretty big. Osborne Stewartsville is a pretty good team who has some young players that can play ball. But, I think we're going to be there competing with every single one of them. And, I think we have a chance at, the district. I think it's maybe a little bit lighter than it has been in the past. Plattsburgh with Isaiah was tough last year. So I think this year there's a little bit more room for growth and opportunity. But, there are some definitely other good teams in the district. And, again, there are some other great conferences around here like Penny's Conference and the KCI. But, I think, it's going to be a good district, but it's definitely winnable.
And, Coach, and again, we're visiting with Polo High School head basketball coach Josh Hunko. And Coach, just your background, how long have you been at Polo? Where'd you go to high school, college, and how did you end up at Polo?
Yeah, so I graduated from Polo in 2010. I went and coached at Pleasant Hill for 3 years. Then I was at Winston for 4 years after that, coaching varsity girls basketball. So then 3 years ago, I took the opportunity to coach under Coach Dixon for a season as his assistant here, while Maverick was a sophomore with his group. And then last year, I took over the program. So this is year 2 for me here at Polo. But I am a graduate, so I know the area well.
Well, Coach, and you've made reference to Maverick. Maverick Gentry is a Chevyers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week this week. Tell us a little bit about you guys are off to a 2-0 start, I believe, and he had a couple big games.
Yeah, Maverick's not one to really talk about himself a whole lot and really, gloat about his accolades, but he's a good player. We're 2-0. We've had some good, chemistry on the team, but obviously everything's been ran through Mav so far. But we have some teammates that are definitely capable of stepping in and helping score and also helping contribute in the basketball game rather than just scoring with rebounding, getting steals and deflections. So I think overall it's a pretty good team dynamic. We kind of know where we're at. And, yeah, it definitely makes it easier when we have a scorer like Maverick who, averaged 37.5 the first 2 games.
Maverick, how are you today?
I'm good.
First off, on behalf of Chevrolet and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named Chevyers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
Maverick, take us now you're a senior, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Take us back to maybe your freshman year compared to now. Has your role changed at all? Obviously, maybe your scoring role has changed, but has your position or anything like that changed since your freshman year?
Position, not so much, but definitely scoring has. Freshman year, we had a couple really good seniors and one that went on to go to college, really good point guard, and definitely a really good scorer. So definitely a different role from freshman year.
Well, as you look back at that freshman year, maybe going back even into junior high, who are some of the folks that influenced you? Maybe it was coaches, maybe it was a senior upperclassman that maybe took you under their wing. Talk about some of those influencers in your life and career.
Yeah, those kids they're still my really good friends, and they definitely took me under their wing and definitely helped me get better as a basketball player.
And if you could maybe get in a time machine and go back to that 7th or 8th grader Maverick Gentry and give yourself some advice based on what you know now as a senior, what advice would you go back and give yourself, whether it be, hey, you need to get in the weight room more, or you need to get in the classroom work more? What advice would you give yourself?
Yeah, definitely. That's a big thing, but also just have fun. This isn't my main sport. I'm going to college for baseball, but this is kind of a side thing. But I really love basketball, but I'd say just have fun.
Yeah. What position do you play in baseball?
I'm a pitcher.
Okay. And where have you decided where you're going?
Yep, State Fair down in Sedalia.
Outstanding. All right. Well, congratulations on that. And as you look at your schedule, you're coming into the season, as most everybody does. I mean, I do it, and I'm looking just for games I want to be at, or games I think are going to be good, big games. Are there games on your schedule you look particularly forward to playing because maybe it's a conference rival, or you know somebody else on the team, or you play with them in the summer? What games are you really looking forward to?
None really in particular. Mainly just like district opponents or conference opponents, because I think we have a pretty good shot at winning conference this year, which hasn't been done in a while here. So any conference game, really.
All right. Very good. Well, again, on behalf of the Chevrolet and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named an Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
And I have one more question, and I'm a mandated reporter for the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Do you always wear your seatbelt?
Yes, I do.
Outstanding. Very good. Well, Coach, you've got, I believe, the Gallatin Invitational Tournament, and I think you play Trenton tonight. Is that right?
That is correct. Yep. 5:45.
And what do you know about Trenton, and what are you going to have to do there to win?
I mean, they lost some pieces from last year's team. I mean, they have one solid player, and the other ones are kind of role players. So, we're just going to try to slow him down and then make the other ones kind of contribute a little bit more. But, we think we have a pretty good game plan going in, and we're excited for the matchup.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, I appreciate you helping set this up. Congratulations to both you and Maverick. Good luck tonight, and hopefully we'll get to visit with you later on in the season about your team.
I appreciate it.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. Truck. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Allen Hilliard Sports would like to thank the Ozark Slunkers for allowing me to do their coverage of their games this year, and we'll be doing their coverage again in the spring and the summer as the Ozark Slunkers will take their second season of the Arena League. This will be 7 p.m. games at the Wilson Logistics Arena. Perez Lawn Care is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and all the area schools in this community. Check them out for all your yard working needs, whether it be mowing grass, weed eating, they can do it all. Perez Lawn Care. Check them out on Facebook. And the Plato Athletic Booster Club is a proud supporter of the Plato Eagles and Lady Eagles in this year's Frisco League tournament. Be sure to check them out as the Eagles and Lady Eagles compete for a tournament championship. And good luck the rest of the season from Plato Booster Club. Allen Hilliard Sports would like to thank the Waynesville School District and everybody for making Waynesville sports possible this season. Good luck to the Waynesville Tigers.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, Waynesville, go! What's out here wide open, and an easy score.
Left-hand side, three-point shot. Drive left side. Attacking the defense and now sneaking in the baseline and stepping it up. High post winners behind on the left side. Baseline drive.
The Missouri Sports Network and Allen Hilliard Sports are proud to come together and sponsor and provide coverage and games, including live shows of sports and live games. Be sure to check them out, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, or check out the scoreboard guy, Guy Newcomb, for all your sports coverage.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
The Licking Booster Club is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and the Licking Lady Wildcats and Wildcats. Good luck to them this season, including in the Frisco League Tournament.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, Liona Labor's Local 663 remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also, we welcome in our newest sponsor, RBW Agricultural Farm Equipment and Sales, home of the Rancher Hydraulic, Cattle Baron, Heritage, and Legacy Cattle Chutes. RBW Agricultural carries curated lines of new livestock handling equipment, front-end loader attachments, and is the #1 dealer for Ironcroft Flex Wing Rotary Cutters in the USA. They care about your safety and the customer safety as well as their livestock safety, bringing efficient equipment to the market, making high-quality equipment affordable for more farmers and ranchers, and the integrity of our words and conduct. Find them in Bolivar, Missouri, and Moberly, Missouri. We go back for it seems like a weekly visit to Fairgrove High School and Eagles head football coach Bill Voris. Coach, hey, congratulations on a big semifinal win, but it ain't over yet.
Right, Guy. I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, it was pretty special up there, but yeah, you're right. It's not done yet. One more.
Coach, you come out, of this quarterfinal win over South Shelby, 55-21. You get to play in the snow a little bit. Had to be fun for the kids, especially with the win at 55-21, just 1 point away from kind of turbo clocking them. But what was it like in the atmosphere?
I mean, it was awesome. Like I'd never played in a situation like that with that much snow, and obviously never coached in it. So it was just watching our kids and how they handled it. I mean, I think that was one of the biggest things is we handled it better early than they did. They put the football on the ground a couple times, and we didn't. Before the game, a couple of our kids went out there and were doing their best Ashton Ginty impression, running around doing warm-ups with their shirt off in the snow. So had to kick them off the field, tell them to get back in the locker room. But, they're enjoying it. It was going to be a memorable experience no matter what, but it's even more memorable when you can play well and get a win in that kind of environment.
Coach, did you come out relatively healthy with the elements, as they were?
Yeah, I mean, our kids we're as healthy as you can be at this point. Everybody's dealing with bumps and bruises. It's been, 15 weeks of the season plus – 6 weeks, 7 weeks in the summer, plus 7 weeks before that last year that you can do kind of in the school year stuff. So this has been a long season for everybody that's still playing.
And I know that going back to that Glendale Jamboree back on August the 23rd, you had obviously some goals, some team goals. And at that time, I don't know that you were aware of the way the districts would fall with regards to finally splitting up and getting away from a good Lamar team. What was it like, then compared to now, where now you've reached this? What were your thoughts back then, and have they changed? I know the goals haven't changed, but tell us a little bit about the season and how far you've come.
No, I think after last year with making it to the semifinal game with these kids as juniors, I think this has kind of always been their goal. I think anything short of this, they were going to be somewhat disappointed. Now, when they look back, they wouldn't have been because we play in a good conference, and obviously winning a district to get in a state championship game is everybody's goal. But it just makes it that more special when they started having this goal for themselves really last year when we missed this by one game. So it's all kind of been a building block. We've tried to stress one game at a time, and keeping these kids still focused on the end goal. But it's been the good thing is that our conference was really good this year, so we had some quality games throughout the year. And then, obviously, we've had some good football teams here that have ran into Lamar in district play, and so they're the best team in the state until someone beats them, and so not having them in your district is always okay.
You mentioned because you had a change to your conference this season with you adding, I believe, Hollister, Reed Spring, a good Forsyth team as well. Obviously, that really helped in that preparation. I know in the years that I worked, I kind of helped out Lance Roten here at Bolivar, and the conference on that side wasn't really good. So he was playing kids a quarter and a half, 2 quarters, maybe 3 quarters, and they just weren't getting prepared. And every year they ran into Webb City. And so talk about that, and how that prepares you, because Lamar is coming out of a good conference as well. They've been battle tested all year, and the reports of their demise were greatly exaggerated. I know they dealt with injuries, early on, and they played in that good conference. But talk about how your conference has prepared you for this point of your season.
Yeah, you said it exactly. There have been years here where we've had, like I said, some really good football teams, but there have been, maybe one game throughout the year where our kids would play the entire time, and then all of a sudden you get to week 12 and you got to ramp it up and face a team like Lamar who's had to play good competition all year long. It's just the speed of the game, how fast everybody else is moving around and making decisions, and so it's been a good thing for us that our conference has been better. We've had to play more. We've had to be. You can't just roll it out. You can't go through the motions in our conference, and so that has been a plus. Definitely seeing some better competition throughout the year.
Coach, you talk about last year getting one game away. When you've had the success and you get to those consecutive conference championships and you kind of break through it, you get, you're getting an extra 2 to 3 to 4 weeks of practice every year because you're able to make those runs. Talk about that and how much that's helped as well.
I mean, I think it's we have. So this is my 11th year. We've been in 10 straight district championship games. Now, last year was the first year we were able to win that district. But yeah, I mean, I just think it sets an expectation for your kids, which can be good or bad. That they get to the point where they just expect to be playing in those games, and they don't realize how much hard work it took every year to get there. But it's also a positive in that they expect to win games and get to that point. And so hopefully that kind of culture continues to benefit us.
And whether a disadvantage or an advantage to whom, I don't know, but Lamar's, you've probably played them as much as you've played conference teams over the past decade. There's some familiarity there with what they do. Now, things have changed just a little bit. I noticed this year that perhaps Lamar's maybe putting a little air under the ball a little bit more, kind of, throwing some more passes, and that may be just something, a perception. That may not be reality, but I kind of feel like they've changed a little bit about what they do. What are your thoughts on them and your preparation?
I mean, you're right that they are slightly different, but I mean, credit to Coach Bashore. Like, I can't imagine that's when you try and take over for a guy like Coach Bailey and all the success that they'd had, and then you take over and you don't even miss a beat. You just keep on trucking along and doing what they've always done, which is win state championships. Credit to him. He's doing it his way, but they're still physical and fast and super successful. And the Wilkerson kid is a special athlete at quarterback. I mean, who wouldn't let him run it and throw it if you had a kid like that back there? So, I mean, they're doing whatever they have to do to win. And credit to Coach Bashore too for not mortgaging the future. Like, he knew that when everyone got healthy that they'd be really good, so he didn't try and rush people back. I'm sure that mindset probably cost them a game or two throughout the year where they could have had somebody back and then chose to let them sit and get healthy so they'd be ready for this point. And now they're playing the best football that they've played all year.
Well, you talk about that culture, and you've kind of helped build that right there at Fair Grove, not only in the football team, but that rising tide kind of lifts all boats. You guys have had a lot of success in other sports as well, but I think it starts with the football program and yourself. And as you head into this state championship game, have you reached out to maybe former coaches or anyone to, hey, how do we handle this? This is, if I understand, maybe the first time Fairgrove's ever played in a state football championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's, for me, I never went there as a player. We went to Republic, and I feel bad for Coach Krell. He was our head football coach, and I had to play quarterback for him, and I was not very good. And if he's a good coach. If he'd had a better quarterback, he might have had a chance to play in some of these games. But I talked to Coach Swafford when he was at Ava. He went to one of these games. I've talked to Coach Cox at Mount Vernon just about what to expect as far as dealing with Misha and dealing with the Mizzou people and just how fast and how chaotic it's going to feel when you get there. But once the whistle blows and then kick it off, it's going to be hopefully just another football game for our kids.
So you guys play Friday at 3. What's the schedule like? Are you going up that morning? I know you've made trips like this here just in recent weeks at a very similar length, and probably won't have to deal with the weather. But what are your plans? Are you going to kind of keep it status quo, kind of keep everybody on kind of that same page?
Yeah, we're gonna stay and sleep in our own beds. We're gonna leave Friday morning. If we were playing earlier, if we were the noon game, we probably would go up the night before. But you're right. We've been to Higginsville, which is kind of near that area. Last year we went to Father Tolton and played well. So we're gonna kind of keep that same schedule. Leave the morning of, get a quick lift in before we leave. Our parents, our quarterback club, will feed us breakfast, and then we'll stop in Jeff City and eat lunch, and then get back on the bus and finish the trip. We got to get there at noon, and then pictures are at 1, and then that's when the chaos starts.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, for the entire season, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time, whether it be on Friday Night Live or the high school game day show. And hey, go out and get that biggest trophy. Come back, and we'll get you and your team on, and we'll kind of celebrate this as a Derek Barnes, Liuna Labor's Local 663 Team of the Week. And Derek wanted me to make sure and tell you good luck.
I appreciate it. Hopefully that's the case. We're going to try for sure.
All right. We'll be back after these messages. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network on MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, hey, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow after this.
In the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Home Plate Grill is a proud sponsor of the Dixon Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs this season. Check them out down by the police station in Dixon, Missouri. Great burgers, great food, great service. Dixon Home Plate Bar and Grill, your local restaurant for a good time. And the Frisco League Tournament for 2024 is proudly supported by Security Bank of Pulaski County as our main tournament sponsor. And also our boys and girls tournament sponsor is the Bank of Crocker. Both member FDIC, both supporting local community for many years. Be sure to support them for all your banking needs, whether it be for a car loan, house loan, whatever it needs. Again, member FDIC. Allen Hilliard Sports can be found on Facebook, and you can watch all the games for free on YouTube, except for playoff games. Playoff games will be on MSHSAA.tv along with some regular season games.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. We'll go back for our weekly visit, it seems like, with the Lutheran North head football coach, Crusaders head football coach Kyle Wagner. Coach Wagner, once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Guy. Again, thanks for having me.
Coach, a big win over a very good Kearney team last week, 24-21. Tell us about that game. You handed them their first loss of the season.
Yeah, very, very athletic team, man. They were fast, big up front, and so definitely a hard fought win. I think that game had two of the top teams in the state, if not the two top teams.
Coach, briefly talk a little bit about the elements. We talked with earlier. We talked with head coach Ted LePage from Blair Oaks, and they dealt with a lot of snow and things like that. And Fairgrove coach was on as well. And in his game, the other team didn't handle that weather as well as he did, kind of maybe turning the ball over. What affected the elements play at all in your game?
I don't think it impacted us too much. For me, I always tell our kids that, they have to play on whatever the surface is, the same exact surface. So, if we're faster, then we should be faster regardless of what surface we're on, because they should slow down too. So there was a lot of snow on the field. I think that Kearney only cleared off the numbers and the lines. So there was a lot of snow, but we got out there early, and my guys were out there with their shirts off. They were excited. They got to work on the field beforehand. And we were happy to play in the snow, because it doesn't happen that often anymore, that you get that type of opportunity. So we kind of embraced it, man, and we enjoyed it. It was a fun game, and anytime you get to play in the snow, play football, I think that's how football was made to be played. But I'm also a Steelers fan, so that's kind of that's the thing. I felt like we were at Heinz Field or something.
Well, Coach, it's 24-21. Kind of take us through, what it was like at halftime, what adjustments that you felt like you needed to make, what you did make, and what was really working well for you.
Yeah, we did really well up front. Our offensive line, we had heard about how strong and big their defensive line was with those twins from Iowa. They were pretty good football players, and then they had that Division I middle linebacker and then a Division I safety that all kind of add to the box, and they're tough to deal with. But my offensive line, man, they played probably their best game of the season, which I challenged them to do throughout the week and challenged my coach to get them ready. And he did a great job of that. So when we went in at halftime, it was actually kind of a blunder right before halftime. We were going to get the ball back. We were up 12-7 at the time. It was about a minute 30 left in the half, and we ended up pulling a kid off to sub a kid for our punt return. We had stopped Kearney, and the kid that we pulled off saw that the offense was still out. So when we put the other kid on, he stayed on as well. So we ended up with a 12-man penalty, and if the refs catch it before the ball is snapped, it's a 5-yard penalty, but they ended up catching it after. It was a 15-yard and gave them a first down on 4th and 11 or 4th and 12. And then the very next play, they score a touchdown. So we go in at half, we're down 14-12 in the game that we felt like we should have had a drive at the end, had a chance to score, and then get the ball back at half. So I just talked to my coaches and my players, and it was like, that mistake, we can't allow it to cost us. We have to go out. We have to get this ball. We have to drive it, and at the very least, we have to drive far enough that they have to trying to move the ball against our defense. We can't allow them to have a short field. So we came out after half, and the game plan kind of remained the same, that we were going to feed our running back, Martez Stevenson. And he ran his tail off. I think he had 24 carries for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. Which against Kearney is impressive. And in the second half, my defense, man, they bit down, and they played Luther North football, which we've come accustomed to, just physical, hard-nosed football. Guys up front on the defensive line dominated the defensive line, and then our athletes on the back end, they filled, and they brought their hard hat. So it was a tough game, man, but my guys, they battled, and it came down to the defense getting a stop at the end. And I went up to my D coordinator, and I told him, I said, we're a defensive team. You said you wanted it. Here you go. This is your opportunity. And he was like, let's go. And we went up and end up getting a stop. So here we are.
Just prior to that, getting that stop, they convert on a 4th down and 3 with 1:24 left in the game to kind of continue that drive. So then you do get that stop to end the game. What was that like when you saw them get that stop and the turnover on downs?
So the turnover on downs, man, it hit me. I kind of was, fighting back some tears, just because it's been, since I took over as head coach. We won back in 2019, and I was offensive coordinator, but doing it from the head coach spot is a lot different. And so all of the sacrifices and the times we fell short, and the different people who maybe kind of jumped off the bandwagon during the process, to have that moment, man, and guys we stuck with, to have that moment was surreal. And I still don't think it's hit me all the way because I'm in it and I want to finish it. But it's gonna be fun to look back on this season and look back on this team. And so in that moment, I was just thankful. I was thankful. And Coach Minnick over at Kearney, man, they do a heck of a job. So us going in there and winning that game, I knew what type of statement that was, and really that's kind of a big career win for me as well. So,
who is outside of the people that were at the game, who was the first person that you heard from via text or a phone call that said, "Hey, congratulations"? I know you had to have 1,000 of them. I was one of them, but who was maybe the first person you got to talk to that just, "Hey, way to go, congratulations"?
Carl Reed, the former Luther North head coach, who is now, he kind of does some agent stuff and works with CBC or CBS, and does some work on TV as well. So he was the first one to call me, and he shot me a text first, and he was just like, "Way to get it done. Now let's go finish." And so that was cool to see, because he's the one that hired me back when I was a 22-year-old kid, and here we are 15 years later, and I took over the program after him, and I'm able to get our team back in 4 years. So it's pretty cool, and I also got there a little bit quicker than he did in the position. So it was cool getting a text from him, and then Ted LePage was somebody that reached out to me as well. We talked quite a bit, outside of the week when we play each other. So he congratulated me, and Fred Brouchard over at MICDS sent the congratulations, and so. Yeah, man, it was awesome to have that experience and know that people they've been watching. So,
well, I do have to tell you this: if you've been doing this 15 years, you have aged well, my friend.
I'm still young. I just started young, man. I just started young, so I'm only 37. I'm only 37, so I got some years to me, but. It'll be cool if at 37 I can get my second ring. I'll be on a good trajectory to catch some really good coaches.
Outstanding. Well, now you've got a very good Festus team, and I know you've looked at them on film. Is there somebody on your schedule that you can maybe compare them to from what you've seen, whether it be size, speed, formations, things like that? Is there somebody that you've played that you can compare them to?
Yeah, they're very similar to I would say Parkway North. Just they have some good athletes, both in the secondary as well as at their skill positions on offense. I don't think their defensive line and offensive line are as big as Parkway North, but they're active. And then they have two really good inside linebackers. One kid I think is 6'2", 215, and the other is 6'1", 200. So good sized kids on the inside that are physical. So if I had to compare them to somebody, I would say Parkway North, and we know that came down to us making a play at the end of the game. So our focus this week is making sure that we don't turn the ball over 3 times like we did in that game, and that we make the 50-50 plays that are there for us. And so we get a chance to see if we've gotten better since 2 weeks ago. And I'm excited about that.
You guys play on Friday. It's 11 a.m. game. What are your plans between now and then? When are you going up to Faurot Field? Do you get on a walkthrough at Faurot, or are you stopping on the way? What's your travel plans like?
So we're gonna walk through here on Thursday morning. We're kind of sticking to our plan from last week. I thought we played well, so we're kind of sticking to that script. So we'll leave here at 11 a.m. on Thursday, and we'll get up there and we'll have all our meetings and do all of our pregame stuff that we normally do on game day. We'll do Thursday, and then that way, having that early game, our guys can just lock in and focus on the fact that we're going to be playing a game, in a couple hours once they wake up. And so that's kind of our plan. I guess Mizzou doesn't allow anybody to walk through on the field or anything anymore. So that's not in the cards for us, which for me is fine. You know, I want to stick to the script from last week. I thought it worked well.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, again, congratulations on making it to the state championship game. And hey, go out and get that biggest trophy, and we'll do this all again next week.
Yeah, I pray that I get to see you again.
All right. Well, Coach, hey, you're welcome anytime, win or lose. I've greatly appreciated getting to know you, getting to know your program, and I always enjoy, visiting with you. And I appreciate the fact that you've been generous with your time. And hey, safe travels, and good luck. And we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guy. Thanks for having me on.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com here on High School Game Day. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, hey, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.
In the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
The Dog Patch gas station is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and the Dixon Bulldogs in all of their sports, including basketball and baseball, among others. Be sure to check them out or stop in for a sandwich or a breakfast sandwich of some sort. They make some of the best sandwiches in the area. Dog Patch on the corner of Highway D and Highway 28 on the way to Dixon. Gan Johnson Insurance is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports and the Dixon Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs. For all your insurance needs, check her out on the main street of town right next to the Dixon School District office in the Old Bank. Gasco Sage Electric Co-op is a proud supporter of the Dixon Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs. They're proud to offer G-Tech Fiber, your local internet provider and telephone source for all your communications needs. Check them out. Just coming into town on Dixon on Highway 28.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, Lyouna Labor's Local 663 remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also presented by the Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Well, it's become a weekly trip back to Blair Oaks High School, and head football coach Ted LePage. And Coach LePage, first off, congratulations on a big semifinal win.
Well, it was it was a truly unusual day as far as the weather and the conditions, and it just was a great setting for football, but very, very unaccommodating for our type of football that we play.
Tell us a little bit about that. I saw some of the videos coming out that we used on our show. And obviously that whole kind of mid part there right along I-70 got a lot of snow that affected the college game and several of the high school games and transportation. What was it like to play in those elements?
Well, first, our maintenance crew and our community just did a tremendous job. It was we got there, we did 8:30, a little bit of a stretch, went down, ate breakfast at 9, went to the end of the locker room. I came outside at 9:30 and it was covered. It was that quick. It happened very, very fast. We have some guys that have some four-wheelers and some chains, and we got on the field, and about 10:35, we dragged the field and it all came off, but it was very, very wet and continued to snow. I talked with Coach Webb at about 11:30, and before we were going to go at 11:45, I said, "You want me to drag it again?" And he's like, "No, we're fine." And I knew that it was going to be his response because wing T, that sits right into them. Went out, and it was just continual snow, continual wind, sub 20 temperatures, and just a wet, nasty day. And in the end, it's a perfect football setting. It's what every player wants to play in. Again, for what we do offensively, it doesn't fit what we do. And so we had to make some accommodations to the weather, but I was really pleased with our players. They fought through a tremendous charge by Maryville. Maryville just brought their best game and played out of their minds. I was really complimentary to them and really proud of the way their players played, because they did. They left it all out there, and truly, what you respect about Coach Webb and what you respect about Maryville is they're going to give you their best every daggone day.
Well, I can remember conversations between you and I going back right after the jamboree that you hosted, which I believe was Helias and maybe Rockbridge there, and we were talking a little bit about the weather, and you were kind of intimating that you wanted it to get warm. You wanted to put your players under stress, physical stress. What about this past weekend? Do you feel like that's preparing you also wise physically for the state championship game this weekend?
Well, I have two really good friends. One's a head baseball coach, one's a head basketball coach. And a couple of years ago, we were talking. They said, football's so routine. You guys don't understand. And you get out of your routine. And with the way the playoffs are set up and the way things go, I thought, man, that is right on. They're right on. We do too many things routine. We do try to throw our kids into some disarray every once in a while because of that. We want to be off schedule. We played a game this year at 5:30 against Maryville. We played a game at 6 against Lutheran North. We played in Blue Valley in Olathe, Kansas, which is about a 3 hour and 15-minute drive for us. So, we did some things out of our comfort zone to try to make us mentally prepared. And I think it did help. Week 9, we lose 2 starters that are 2 all-state players within 5 minutes of each other with broken ankles. Our players didn't bat an eye. We don't want that tragedy to happen. But at the same standpoint, for a Class 3 school to suffer those 2 kind of losses and your team just kind of continue to raise its play, I think a lot of it has to do with we don't let anything bother us. It's part of the course. You know what? Here's the game time. Here's who we're playing. Go line up and play.
Speaking of that, number one, did you come out this past weekend relatively healthy?
We did. I will say that this time of year, it's attrition. The 15 games, I know nobody wants to feel sorry for you. 15 games on a high school student athlete is atrociously taxing, and I think that we're about as healthy as we can be without having to, 2 all-state guys. We'll take them back at any point in time, but we won't get them back till next year. But we're relatively healthy. But boy, I don't know who would sit here and say we're 100%, because at this point in time, when you've gone through the grind that you have to get to this point, you're going to be beat up a little bit.
Now you've got a very good Seneca Indian team coming in for the state championship. Obviously, they're going to travel a little bit further than you. They're undefeated on the season. They're coming out of a Big 8 conference. I think that well prepares people to make this kind of run. What do you know about the Indians, and what are you going to have to do on Saturday?
Well, this has been kind of a 3-year in the making. They've been kind of tracking us for 3 years, and we've kind of been tracking them because in 2022 we played Lamar, and they played Lamar in the semis. So there has been some tracking going along. Coaches talk and reached out to their coach. They reach back and forth, because when you get to semis, you prepare. If you win the game, because you got to be prepared. You don't want to be outlandish about it, but you got to reach out and say, hey, if this happens and this happens. And then last year there was an opportunity for us to meet in the finals, and we got beat by Park Hill Central, and they turned around and got beat by Park Hill Central in the finals. So this year has been tracking probably since week 1. We were ranked 1, they were ranked 2. It's been that way 100% of the time all the way through. I don't know how many times that happens in high school football, that 1 and 2 go all the way through all the weeks. But what we know about them, physical, hard-nosed, downhill, play just good fundamental football, both sides of the ball. You're not going to be able to wear them out. You're not going to be able to out-physical them. You're not going to be able to outdo anything. You just have to line up and give it your best, because they are extremely well coached, But the biggest thing I see is they play hard every doggone snap. And when you get players doing that at the high school level, it makes for success. And they've had 26-1 in their last 27 games for a reason. They line up every week. They believe they're going to win. I'm sure they prepare like they're going to win, and they go out and win. And when you see that, you've got to take your hat off to them. But at the same standpoint, we feel like we got a recipe for that also, and we're not going to go up there and shy away from them. We're ready to step into that ring with them. And if they're the team that was there last year, we're not. So we're kind of taking the underdog role a little bit. That they're undefeated, we're not. We've suffered a defeat this year. So this is a game that a little bit more pressure probably on them because they've been there before. We took a year off. We weren't there. We were in the semis last year. So it's our position that we've got to go in and fight a little bit more of an uphill battle than they do.
Coach, as you look, and I know you've looked at Seneca on film, the last few days, is there a team that's on your schedule that you could compare Seneca to, maybe their size, their speed, or some of those things that you just talked about?
Well, we looked at that. We talked about it as a staff quite a bit. There's nobody really replicates what they do. They're really good at it, and I'm being very complimentary. I respect the heck out of it because you saw it last year, you saw it this year, you saw it 2 years ago. Blue Valley Southwest has some linemen real similar to what they do. They're very I won't say they're ginormous players. They're 210, 220 pound, but just hard nosed. And I call them war dogs. They get in there and they just fight to the death. And I think that would be a little similar. We've seen some linemen similar to that, but outside of what they do and how they do it, no, we haven't seen a lot of similar teams because they are so physical. That you see physical teams throughout the year, but Seneca takes it to a whole nother level.
And Coach, what are you playing? You play at 11 a.m. on Saturday. What are you doing between now and then? When are you going to get on a bus and head that direction? And do you get any time on Faroe Field, maybe for walkthroughs, or do you surely don't stop somewhere on the way? You probably do it at your place. But what are your plans here as you head into that 11 a.m. start?
Well, it's a great question, and I appreciate it. We've had a lot of meetings with MSHSAA. There's not going to be a home locker room. So we being about 35 minutes south, we're going to stay close to the house for a little bit. And then when we have to be there, we're going to load the bus and we're going to get dressed at our house and our stadium. And we're going to ride up on the bus and get off just like we're playing a conference game. And I don't mean that being a conference game, but we do that in our conference. It's, we got a 35-40-minute ride. Okay, we're going to take our clothes. We're going to have them on and we're going to go up there and be ready to play when we get off the bus. And because with the home locker room situation, not having one, they're going to put us in a little bit of a room. They said we're going to try to take it as little as we can and be ready to play football. And that will be our approach to it. We have to be there at 8:30. So we're going to try to show up at 8:30, take our pictures at 9. After 9 o'clock, they said as soon as I think Seneca takes theirs at 9:15. As soon as they take their pictures, then you can have access to the field, but then it'll be probably pretty much getting in the game routine by that time. That being the first game of the day, I've done this a couple times and other, once in 2004. Most of the time when you're following the game, there's just a short window and you really got to condense your time. With this, you can have pretty much the time you need to get warmed up as you would prepare for a regular season game, as long as the field is available. And again, when you're dealing with an institution like University of Missouri, total respect, nothing bad on their part. It's their facility. I'd be careful with what I allow to go on there as well. So we're just appreciative. Our players get to get out and get an experience in a Division I FCS or FBS college football field. It's going to be an incredible opportunity for them.
At 1 o'clock, when I look at the score and see the final score, and Blair Oaks is able to get a victory, what are one or two stats that you're going to point at and say, this is what we game plan for? This is why we won this game, whether it be time of possession, turnovers, penalties. What are one or two things you're going to point at to say, hey, this is why we won this game?
Well, you're going to not like my answer because it's going to seem political, but it's not. I don't know what it's going to say because we're a team that's a little bit different, and I've been told this a lot, and I'm told I'm a lot different, so that's okay. But we morph into whatever we are allowed to morph into during the game. We'll take what you give us, and that's what makes us a little bit more dangerous of an opponent than some teams prepare for, because some teams you prepare for, hey, it's flex bone, and you're going to see that. We might be in some formation like that. We might be in something else. So I think at the end of the day, it's going to be, what did Blair Oaks do that they kind of adjusted to what Seneca was doing, and that'll be what would be the point I would look at. You can always go to the trademarks that don't beat yourself, no turnovers, no silly penalties. Game like this, sometimes I tell the players, take a deep breath. It's a football game. It's 100 yards long. The end zones are 10 yards long. Field's still 52 with 30 yards wide. It's the goalposts are a little different, but when it all boils down to it, after the second play, you're playing on turf. You're playing against a team that's 13-0, and they're 13 in a row for a reason. And you better bring your best and just play football.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, as always, the entire season, last year, thanks for being generous with your time. Best of luck here on Saturday, and maybe we'll get you and some of your team on next week as our team of the week.
Well, let's hope so. But best of luck to all the players, all the teams going up there. Anytime you get a chance to play for Rowe, it's pretty special. It's humbling, to be honest. I mean, it's neat. I don't care win, lose, or draw. When you make 12 teams go up there and play, it's pretty cool for a high school player to experience what we're going to get to experience on Saturday.
Outstanding. Well, Coach, hey, thank you so much. Safe travels. God bless, and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where, as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us, hey, take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. We'll be right back.
Located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Chris Bills Basketball is a proud sponsor of Allen Hilliard Sports and the Frisco League teams, a former Licking Wildcat. Check him out, Chris Bills Basketball. Check out Cup of Faith Coffee in Dixon, Missouri, right next to the old Chinese restaurant. If you want a good cup of joe, Cup of Faith has you covered in Dixon, Missouri on Main Street. CSC Excavating is a proud supporter of the Dixon Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs. Check them out. Give William Alexander a call at 573-308-7635 for all your dirt working needs and construction needs. Go Bulldogs. The Dixon School District and Dixon Bulldogs and Dixon Booster Club are all proud supporters of Allen Hilliard Sports and the sports we cover. They are helping to provide coverage of the Frisco League tournament and provide home coverage of the Dixon Bulldogs and district coverage of their sports. Aspire to become you as a counseling service in Pulaski County, Missouri. Give them a call for all your counseling needs. They are proud supporters of Allen Hilliard Sports and the area schools. The Armed Services YMCA of Fort Leonard Wood is a proud supporter of Allen Hilliard and Allen Hilliard Sports, along with opportunities to volunteer for basketball coaching in the community. They also provide services, whether it's food services or clothing for active duty, retired, and other service members on Fort Leonard Wood. Be sure to check them out on Fort Leonard Wood by the post office. Allen Hilliard Sports would like to thank the Arena League and would also like to mention that we are going to be broadcasting more Arena League football games next year. Be sure to check them out on the Arena League YouTube page. Lots of videos and highlights on that for your viewing pleasure. Games will start in the spring and summer.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, 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 Angel, go! Goes out there wide open, and an easy score.
Way on the attack. There's a three-point shot from the But he was actually kind of decent at basketball. points up there.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, Angel, go! Goes out here wide open, and an easy score.
When you drive a Chevy, it's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, presented by Liona, Labor's Local 663, who remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also presented by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 600 locations. With more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. We go to Willow Springs High School, and we'll bring in Willow Springs head basketball coach on the girls' side, David Cox. Coach Cox, thanks for your time today.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
Coach, already 1-0 on the season. You're participating in the Van Buren tournament right now. Tell us a little bit about your team and what maybe you had to replace due to graduation coming into this year, and what's the overall makeup of your team?
Sure. We finished last year 16-10. We only graduated one girl. We graduated a guard. She was a real good player, but we bring back 9 girls that contributed quite a bit. We bring back 4 of our 5 starters from last year. So we got a lot of experience, looking to have a really good year this year. Hope to compete for our conference and district championships. So, yeah, we've got quite a bit coming back and are hoping to have a really good year.
Coach, kind of handicap your conference a little bit. I know there's been a lot of conference realignments, with the Ozark Conference having gone away, the COC expanding, the Ozark Mountain Conference now. Tell us about your conference, and have there been any changes?
We're in the SCA, and it's been the same for quite a few years. It's us and Mountain Grove and Mountain View, Thayer, Salem, Ava, Kabul, Houston. It's an 8-team conference. It's always really competitive. Like, there's always tough games in it each and every year. Thayer won our conference last year. They'll be tough to deal with again this year. I think we finished third or fourth last year in the conference, and hope to be right there in the battle for the opportunity to win it this year.
And a lot of those teams are also in your district.
Yes. Thayer, Liberty, Mountain Grove. No, not Mountain Grove. Houston and Kabul are in our district this year with us.
Outstanding. And just a little bit about your background. How long have you been at Willow Springs? Where did you go to high school, college, and how'd you end up there at Willow?
Well, it's been quite the journey. I've been the head coach here is my second year. I've been around the program since 2010. I've been a volunteer assistant, a full-time assistant. I was a middle school coach for a while. I've kind of done all kinds of things here at the school. I'm not originally from here. I grew up in Northwest Indiana. I went to college at Indiana University and came down here to Missouri in 2003. I also pastor a church in the community, and that's kind of how I came to the community, is through that. And then kind of just through some open doors that came available, I got involved in the school district and became teaching and coaching to go along with pastoring as well. So it's kind of been quite the journey. But I've been around the girls program since 2010.
Outstanding. Well, you've got a young lady sitting beside you that had a big night with some career milestones and a record-breaking night with regards to school. And Chloe Jones, tell us a little bit about Chloe and her basketball game.
Yeah, she had a great night last night to start our season. She had 34 points to lead us to a victory. With that, she went past 1,000 points for her career, and she also broke a single game scoring record of 9 3-pointers in one game. So the old record was 8, and she got 9 last night. So it was a great night to start our season. She's a great player. She's one of our captains. She was one of the best players in the area last year, averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Just a great kid and a great leader for our team.
Chloe, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm outstanding. Well, first off, on behalf of Chevrolet and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named the Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks Athlete of the Week.
Thank you. It's a great honor.
Clay, tell us a little bit just about your game. You're a junior. Has your responsibilities or roles changed from your freshman year until now? Obviously, scoring may be one thing you've had to take over, but are you playing the same position?
Yeah, I'm still playing the same position, but I feel as if especially last year, I've had to take more of a leadership role, and even more this year than last year with graduating our senior. We only have one senior this year, so I feel like since being here since freshman year, I'm kind of stepping into that more leadership role, being more experienced and everything.
As you go back to your youth, when you began to play basketball and then going through, elementary and then the junior high, and then now you're 3/4 of the way almost through your high school career. Who are some of the people that kind of mentored you, that kind of influenced you? Maybe it's a little league coach or whatever, little league coach, or parents, or a big sister, or maybe it's someone that's older than you that went through the program. Who do you look back on and really appreciate the fact that they've been able to mentor you and influence you?
Definitely my sister, Ashlyn. She was 4 years older than me, so she graduated right as I got into high school. But just growing up watching her play basketball my whole life, I just get to watch her play and just want to mock my game after her. And every record that she broke, I wanted to go through and break again. She just set little things for me to go back and look back on and really be grateful that she was there for me through my whole journey.
Now, with regards to the 3-point record, I believe you hit 9 of them, which set a new school record. Number one, were you aware that you were getting close to that record, or did you hear about it later?
No, I didn't hear about it till this morning. I had no idea I had that many. I didn't think it didn't feel like that. But yeah, this morning my dad called me and he's like, "Hey, you understand that you had 9 threes last night, right?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "Record was 8." And I was like, "Oh." I didn't know until this morning when I got up for school.
Who do you know whose record you broke?
It was a girl by the name of Brittany Sweet. I think it was set back in maybe the early 2000s. So it was quite an old record.
Yeah. So it wasn't your sister's record you broke. So you still got your sister's marks in front of you.
Yeah, my sister has the 3 all-time made.
Okay. All right, and you went over 1,000 points. Were you aware you were approaching that?
Yeah, I knew last year that I was getting pretty close, and so at the end of our game last year, I was aware that I was 4 away. So I was like, "Well, I know I'm going to get it first games."
What was the shot that set you over the 1,000?
I think it was a little runner in the lane with my left. I Euroed to the left, and it was a little layup runner-ish.
Coming into the season, outside of your sister's records and the 1,000 points, did you have any personal or team goals as you come into this season that you were looking forward to?
Yeah, I definitely have the team goal of I really bad want to win conference. I want to win districts, but I especially want to, beat our rivals and everything, and just more grow as a team because, not only are we trying to win this year for our junior year, but we're also looking out for our senior year, and because we're going to be just almost the same team that we are next year. So I'm just really looking to win more than anything. But even if we don't do that, I still want to grow as a team and get more chemistry with my teammates and just really get better.
Coming into this year, as you look at your schedule for the upcoming season, are there games that you kind of make a mental note by? I'm looking forward to this game. Maybe it's a conference game. Maybe it's somebody that on the other team that maybe it's a team that beat you last year that you don't think should have beat you. But what games are you looking particularly forward to?
I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of conference game. My number 1's Liberty. Number 2 is Thayer. My number 3 is Grove. Those are the 3 powerhouses in our conference. But yeah, Liberty. I'd definitely say that Liberty is our rival. They beat us 4 times last year, and they like to, talk about it a lot, and we're very aware of that. So we are, as a team thing, we are very excited to see Liberty again this year.
All right. Well, what do you do tonight? You got Greenville when we're recording this here on On Tuesday, you've got Greenville. What do you do during the day to get kind of mentally or physically prepared? Are you drinking lots of water? You're trying to get rest? Are you looking at film? What are you doing to prepare for tonight?
Well, today during advisory, we were watching film, but I keep a water bottle with me, and I try to drink as much water as I possibly can. And I just like try to live in the present, and because the more I think about it, the more I just get myself worked up, and I still try to think about school and everything, try to get through the school day. Then when game time comes, then I'm ready from preparing through school.
What are your nerves like before a game? Or maybe even while you're warming up? What's it like?
Oh, I get pretty nervous just because I'm not nervous to lose. I'm just like nerves that I always have. And the more I just think about it during the school day, the worse they get. But I definitely think I get nervous until tip off. Then once that ball is tipped, then it just comes natural. It's just play ball.
More nervous before a game or right now doing an interview?
I don't know. That's close. Probably right now, though.
Well, you've done very, very well. And I have one remaining question, and I'm a mandated reporter for the Missouri State Highway Patrol. And that question is, do you always wear your seatbelt?
Absolutely, yes.
Very good. Well, Chloe, again, on behalf of Chevrolet and the Missouri State Highway Patrol, congratulations on being named an Athlete of the Week, and hopefully we'll get you back on again.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
You bet. Coach Cox, I greatly appreciate you kind of struggling through getting this set up. I know it's not always easy when you're doing these things from school and during the school day dealing with classes and things, but I greatly appreciate you struggling through and getting it set up for us.
Well, thank you for having us on. We really appreciate it.
You bet. Hey, you're watching High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. Back after this.
In the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Bank of Crocker is a proud sponsor of Allen Hilliard Sports, the Waynesville Tigers area sports teams. Since 1911, they have been in Pulaski County supporting businesses and the local community. Check them out at many convenient locations in Richland, Waynesville, and Crocker. Member FDIC. The Barn at Honeysuckle Farm since 2017 has been your premier wedding venue in Pulaski County area and Miller County. Great venue, great people to work with. Check them out. Proud supporters of the Iberia Rangers throughout all their sports this season and supporters of Allen Hilliard Sports. Allen Hilliard Sports would like to thank Brian Borum again of Cross Creek Realty. He has been a supporter of Allen Hilliard Sports for several years now and continues to support the Frisco League, including the Crocker Lions and the Frisco League basketball tournament. We want to again thank him for his support and good luck, Lions.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. We go to Lamar, Missouri, and we bring in Lamar Tiger head football coach Jared Beshore. Coach Beshore, thanks for your time today.
Yep, thanks for having me, Guy.
Coach, before we talk a little bit about last week's game, and obviously all of these runs that you've been on as a player and as a coach have been extremely special with different groups of guys. How special is this one, knowing that there were a lot of folks writing you off at the end of the season when you finished 5-4? How special is this run now to go on?
It's extremely special. I mean, they're all special, but like you said, our team this year faced a lot of adversity, had a lot of you don't want to make excuses, you don't want to do any of that, and that's not what I'm doing here. The reality was that we had a lot of injuries and things pop up that really kind of threw us off course with what we wanted to do. You have a plan in place, and then a couple kids get hurt, and now you have to completely readjust what you do. And we did that. We were fighting that all season long. The other aspect of that is that we played in the toughest small school conference in the state, and every single team that we faced this year was a dogfight. A bunch of teams got a lot better, and that's just a tip of the cap to those programs and those coaches. We were fighting every single week for a victory, you can look at that as well. That's tough on your team. That's tough on your kids, but for us, we look at it as an advantage once we get into Class 2 ball, because we're playing Class 3 and Class 4 teams all year long, and that really prepares us for the playoffs. So we're a battle-tested, tough-nosed football team you can't really throw anything at us right now that we haven't seen already. So I think that's an advantage for us.
And getting to play some of those backups and some of those young men that didn't have that experience, they had to get some experience. Do you feel like that helps you not only for the remainder of this year, which is one game, but also going into next year with those kids that had to step up into some roles on the varsity level will help you next year as well?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got multiple guys that were borderline varsity players or even high-end JV players for us that are now starting for us and playmakers for us on the playoff, and on the playoff front. Guys that you didn't really think that would have to step up and be in those roles, but then we're kind of forced to, and they've stepped up and they've seized their opportunity. So you're absolutely right. Number one, it makes us a better football team this year because you got more kids playing. As many varsity football players that you can have on your team, we feel at Lamar that gives us a big advantage, because now you have fresher bodies. You have more, kids you can throw out there in the game on offense and defense. Special teams is huge. So the more varsity level football players you have, your special teams become better almost immediately. So that helps us out this year. It also helps us out for the future. Like you said, we've got a huge senior class, and we have had to rely on them heavily, even not just this year, but in previous years. And now, you kind of force your hand. We've got our hand forced to play some of these younger guys, and they've stepped up and seized their opportunity. Well, now those are kids that we're going to have for 2 to 3 more years to develop even further, and they're already developed into varsity level players now. So that helps us out a lot on both fronts.
Coach, as you head into the state championship game with Fair Grove, obviously with the experience that you've got in the sophomores, juniors, and seniors have all experienced this before, and freshmen maybe have went to the game, when they were in junior high. Is that an advantage, or can that be maybe sometimes as a disadvantage? Just like, hey, ho hum, it's just kind of routine. We do this every year. How do you combat that?
Well, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I've said the exact same thing this morning on another interview, and every single week that we've been in the playoffs from district championship week on. Experience can be a good thing. It can be a thing that you use to your advantage. It can be a chess piece that the other team doesn't have, or it can be something that is really, really negative and can root into your kids' heads and plant itself and potentially spoil your opportunity. I tell our kids, if we use it as an advantage, if we know the routine, if we aren't shocked by any of the, the distractions that come with having to play in a state championship game, the hurry up and wait, the team photo, the long walk from the Herd Center to the stadium, the post game stuff, all of that. If we can handle that and not be overwhelmed by it and focus on the game, that's an advantage. But if you look at it like you were saying, and you've got, a bunch of guys that, hey, we've been here before. This isn't nothing new. We come here every year, and they're not hungry, and get that excited feel and that motivation to go and seize that opportunity, then it's a huge disadvantage. And so, we combat it with multiple things. I mean, we talk a lot about why we're here, what we do, what we've overcame, how hard we've worked, how much we love each other, and that we didn't come this far just to get to the state championship game. We're here. We've put all this work in. We've overcame so much. We're here to seize an opportunity.
Coach, and again, we're visiting with head Lamar Tiger football coach, head coach Jared Beshore. Coach, a lot of exciting games across the state here in these playoffs. You go back to the Nixa throwing the touchdown pass with 10 seconds left to beat Lee Summit North. You've got your game last week with Bowling Green that came down to a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. Kind of take us through that game a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, Bowling Green, coached by Mark Sinclair, Hall of Fame coach from, he was at Hannibal for a number of years. Just great guy, great coach. And they had 2 years in a row, we've had to play them in the semifinals here at Lamar. And both years, they are a team that when they walk on the field, you're like, we are in trouble. They are big, they're strong, they're fast, they're physical. They dang sure pass the eye test, and they're well coached because Coach Sinclair is coaching them. So, Saturday we definitely had our struggles. They gave us a lot of troubles offensively and defensively. I thought one area that we did really well in and that we really truly took advantage was our special teams. Flipped field position multiple times with some punts, blocked a punt. We're able to pin them deep a couple times, and I mean, I think that really, really helped us. We got a turnover that led to scores, and that was kind of the difference in the game, in my opinion. We didn't dominate offensively or defensively by any means. It was pretty evenly matched, but we were able to get an advantage in the special teams in the kicking game and get some field position and capitalize when it really mattered. And then obviously, like you said, the 2-point conversion play, they're driving down the field, they score, they punch it in with about 50 seconds left, and then our kids end up getting the stop on the 2-point conversion. That's huge. We stopped them on multiple 2-point conversion plays. I believe it was 3. They were a team that didn't kick the ball. They didn't have a kicker, so they just went for 2 every time, and our defense was able to stop them 3 of their 4 scores, and that's the difference in the game. We win by 1, so each one of those is extremely important. So it was really, really small details that won that football game for us.
Now you get to take on a Fairgrove team that's undefeated, and they've got a special group. They've been looking at this group for a number of years coming through with the likes of Kellen Lair and Seeger at quarterback. What do you know about Fairgrove? And you're probably fairly familiar. I was talking with Coach Voris here earlier, and he said we've played them almost as many times as we've played conference games over the past decade. We run into Lamar all the time, so both teams are kind of familiar with each other. What do you know about this year's Fairgrove Eagle team?
Well, Coach Voris is exactly right. We're very familiar with each other. We've even team camped against each other in the summer multiple times, and this summer. So, I mean, this is not going to be the first time our kids have locked horns this year. And we spent the summer together a whole day here in Lamar and team camped against each other and, just trying to get better. I mean, you don't bank on playing each other during the year all the time. We thought it could definitely be a possibility depending on how the playoff layout was there. And we knew they were going to be a great team. And we were hoping to, be able to play at that same level as well. So kids are very familiar with each other, and coaching staffs are very familiar with each other. Got a lot of mutual respect between each other. Me and Bill have spent a lot of time together in all state meetings and talking on the phone and stuff like that. So the familiarity is there. So that's going to make for an interesting matchup. I mean, us meeting in a state championship game instead of a district title game is brings a new level to it. And I've texted Bill earlier this week. I think it's pretty cool that two Southwest Missouri teams get to play against each other in a title game, and two teams that team camped against each other get to play each other in a state title game. It's pretty special and good for everyone in the state to know that we play some football down here in the Southwest Springfield Joplin area.
Outstanding. Well, Coach Beshore, again, thank you so much for your time today. Best of luck here at 3:00 kickoff on Friday against Fairgrove, and hopefully we'll get to visit next week, depending on how everything goes. And we'll look forward to watching the game. And again, thank you so much for your time today.
Yep, no problem. Thanks, Guy.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol remind us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. We'll be right back on the Missouri Sports Network.
I'll have the avocado toast minus the avocado.
So, toast.
Yeah. And a high-tech Chevy SUV. Why is Chevy making affordable vehicles connected by OnStar? It's so together we can do more.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the stage.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head, because there are so many things that I left unsaid.
Go, Angel, go! Wide open and an easy score.
just when it was open.
Rookie move.
I was a rookie once.
Caitlin Clark.
Aren't you Rookie of the Year?
That was last year. Ancient history. The stories that I could tell you. Here, pull up a chair.
Okay, I meant this rookie driver made that rookie move.
Whoa. Dude. You need someone with more experience. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, State Farm's here to help, no matter how long you've been in the game.
Game? Oh, man.
Rookie move.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Cameron Irway is your local State Farm provider for the Salem Licking area. He's also a supporter of the Licking Lady Wildcats and Wildcats basketball programs. Give him a call for all your insurance needs.
Hey, welcome back to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, presented by Liona Labor's Local 663, who remind us, hey, drive safely in those work zones. Those folks want to go home to their families as well. Well, we go back to Archie, Missouri, and welcome in the head football coach of the Whirlwinds, Drew Smith, who is officially a friend of the show, making his fourth appearance here at the Missouri Sports Network. Well, Coach Smith, hey, first off, congratulations on a huge semifinal win last week over Bishop LeBlanc. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Thanks for having me on. It's always nice to get some recognition for the kids. That game was a great fight. That was a great game. Bishop LeBlanc is a tough opponent. They are physical up front. They have improved tremendously throughout the season. They're coached well by Coach Chuck Davis and his staff, so hats off to them. They made us earn everything. We got down 20-8 at one point in that game, and then we scored, and then we got an immediate turnover, and we took a halftime lead going 24-20. We made some adjustments. They made some adjustments at halftime. They came out and countered our adjustments, and they were able to get a touchdown to go up 28-24 after the first drive in the third quarter. We made some adjustments on defense, and then we shut them out the rest of the way. But it was just a great back and forth ball game. That was a great win by us. Our boys just never wavered. They stuck to the game plan. They stuck together. So it was a good team win.
Coach, a lot of the coaches I've visited with over their semifinals, a lot of them had to deal with the elements, the weather. What was the weather like, and did it play a factor?
So for us, the elements and the weather was getting up to the game. It took us about 3 hours to get up to the game when normally it takes us about an hour and a half. So we left at 9. We didn't get there until about 11:55. And so that was just going through Kansas City with that snowstorm. It was treacherous. We saw quite a few car accidents, spin-offs, tractor trailer accidents. We were stuck in traffic for a while, but once we got up to St. Joe, it was like nothing happened. It was just like a little dusting. So it was kind of getting up to the game was more treacherous than the elements. It was cold, but that was about it. So.
Now, as you look ahead here, you've got North Shelby. You'll be making that trip back to St. Joe as eight-man state championships are there at, I believe, Missouri Western on the campus there at St. Joe. What do you know about North Shelby? Just one common opponent, and that's Bishop LeBlanc. And at this point of the year, you kind of throw that out, playing for a state title. But what do you know about North Shelby?
North Shelby's physical up front. They're big up front. They want to run the football. They do just enough play action that you have to keep honest with them. And they're fundamentally sound. They're an attacking defense. They're off. Well, I'll go through their offense. Their offense is led through their quarterback and running back. I don't know their names. I've never played them before, so I just know their numbers. Number 3 and number 13. Number 3 is their quarterback. He's a dual threat. Number 13 is their running back. He's a sophomore. He's a tremendous runner. I think he's got over 2,000 yards rushing for him this year. And then they have some sneaky tight ends. Number 22, 32, and 42 or 44. I can't remember. But they do a great job of getting run blocking and then selling the run and getting out and play action pass. So we're going to have to be disciplined up front and to read our keys and to stop them. So that's going to be a battle for us. Defensively, they like to mix things up. They're an attacking defense. They got some big DNs. They tackle well. And so it'll be a challenge for us to be able to break that first layer and break a tackle and make a man miss.
And this, the last couple of years or whatever, the runs that you guys have been on, is that an advantage, knowing what to expect? You've got pictures, you've got, things like this, when you can get on the field. Well, is that an advantage for you to having that experience?
Oh, I think experience is always an advantage. But also with that is you got new kids every year. So we graduated a lot of seniors last year, and now we have a lot of other kids stepping up into bigger roles that didn't get on the field in last year's state championship game. Now they made it to the state championship game, but there's a difference between making it and then playing in it. So we got leaders back from last year's team that can help lead the way and kind of keep the expectations and kind of show them what it looks like through the preparation through the week. And then once the game gets there, keep them under control, be composed for sure. But it is an advantage. I'll never say it's not to have the experience of going. But we always have new kids that haven't gone before playing. So that's where it might be a little different.
Outstanding. Well, what's the travel plans like? And obviously, I checked the weather. I don't think you're gonna have to deal with snow this weekend on traveling or at the game. But what's it look like here? You play on Saturday at 1 p.m. What time are you heading out?
We're gonna head out around 9 o'clock. You just never know with the weather in Missouri, but it looks like it's gonna be beautiful weather. 55 I think the high in St. Joe, so it'll be hopefully it'll be good weather-wise. We're gonna leave around 9 from Saturday morning. Head on up there and get ready to go from there. So we're not staying the night or anything like that. So it was a little bit of it's close enough drive. We're used to that hour and a half bus drive. We've gone up to Bishop LeBlanc, St. Joe twice this year already, so we're familiar with it. So we're just going to kind of keep the routine the same for the boys.
Well, outstanding, Coach. As always, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time throughout the season. Good luck, and maybe we'll get some state championship players and the coach back on next week, and we'll talk a little bit about the team of the week.
I hope so. I appreciate you having us on. Thank you, sir.
You bet. You're watching High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage, and we'll be back after these messages.
Located in the heart of Springfield on historic Walnut Street, just blocks away from the Missouri State campus, Hammons Field, Great Southern Arena, and downtown Springfield. The Walnut Street Inn features newly remodeled rooms, breakfast served daily, and a friendly, accommodating staff. The Walnut Street Inn is also a great venue for private events. Book your stay or get more information at walnutstreetinn.com or call 417-864-6346.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
My heart rages around like an ocean